I found a fortress so strong that it actually broke my PlayStation. What? That's not good. One fateful morning I wake up and I check my comment section only to find this very nice and polite comment. Howdy sir, I want you to pretty please raid my Nurnin fort. My username is MCRRules2007. My first thought was this is probably a child, and my second thought was this is going to be an easy fort. What an easy way to start my new series. If you would like your fort to be rated, then leave a comment and also like the video, and I think there's a new hype button, so you might as well hit that. I have no idea what it does, so let's hit the hype button together. Cheers lads. I picked the leader of my team, one of my most notable orcs, Caro the Pit Fighter, aka the blue painted gentleman shark. Backing him up, we've got the golden Olog legend. We've got Masu the Breaker. I picked him because he's got the Den Mother ability, so he should be able to summon in his own ghouls. We've got the yellow painted Azrans of the Caves, picked to spread fire and chaos across the forts. I'm also bringing Arbeku the Painless, the Olog that is featured so far in the majority of my videos this year. I'm also bringing along Nakra the Blizzard, and a very special orc as my bodyguard, which I'll reveal later on inside the throne room. So with my team assembled, I was feeling pretty confident. I typed the name into the search bar and hit enter. A normal defense rating came up 730, which means that all of the orcs are most likely going to be level 80. But then whenever I hit select, disaster strikes. My PlayStation goes into meltdown. The game or the app experiences a fatal error. I even get this message that I've never seen before where Sony wants me to send a report. A chill shoots down my spine. If the mere presence of this fort causes my game to crash, just how powerful are these orcs gonna be? But I brush it off as if it's nothing and I reload my Shadow of War game. I head back over to the fort raiding spot, type in the name again, and this time it loads. And what I see horrifies me. Zog the Eternal as the Overlord. What? And I become even more shocked when I start to look at the warchiefs, and I notice the horrifying quadruple 7 stats. Oh no. I may have severely underestimated this fortress. Moving on to the other warchiefs, I thought surely this is an anomaly, but then I was horrified yet again to see Luga the Poisoned. And again with Douche Flame of War. What the hell are they feeding these orcs on PlayStation? And then alas, finally some respite. A 6777. Wow, what a pathetic orc. And then finally, a more normal looking orc, but still very, very powerful. Rounding off the fortress with Frak the Lucky, who is actually a very badass tower necromancer. And of course they are all led by the king of the necromancers. This fortress would be the ultimate test for my newly formed team. And also, what a way to kick off this new series where I'm raiding your forts. Leave a comment down below. Do you think your fort is as strong as this one? But also bear in mind I'm going to be doing 2 lists. The first is going to be how difficult the fort was to raid, and the second is going to be how unique the fortress is. So even if you have a weak fortress, but it's filled to the brim with crazy, tasty orcs, then still comment down below. And also hit that hype button. Is it a button? I have no idea. Hit the hype. I don't really know what it does, but I'm excited to find out. Checking out the first fort, I thought surely they all can't be as strong as the other orcs. I see the Lucky first, the Necromancer, and then I see Golem of the Hand, who has Iron Will. Clearly he was recruited using the hired by email glitch. I dive on in and start smashing my hammer into everything that moves. Just then my army of massive Ologs emerges at the point. Thank God. My lads flood in and I take this opportunity to suck on one of my orcs real quick. It's gotta be done. I need the health. And this is a very, very dangerous fort. I then start bashing up the orcs a little bit atop my Graug, but I don't think it's doing very much damage. They are most definitely beast-proof. I dive on off and stab one of them, and I think about taking the point, but then I realize, no, I definitely shouldn't do that. Because if I do that, it's going to be a 6v6 at the next point, and I really don't want this to be a fair fight. I want to overwhelm this fortress. I want to have my 6 orcs against 3 every single time, because all of these orcs seem to be hopped up, juiced up, on every kind of performance-enhancing drug that exists in Middle-earth. Eventually, I'm able to isolate one of them away, and I take this opportunity to really deal some big damage. It also helps that he's trying to retreat, which I find very surprising considering how strong all of these orcs are. But I'll be honest, I am definitely gonna cheese this fortress a little bit here. Oh, never mind, he's got Iron Will. Ha ha ha! I am not gonna cheese it. At least not yet. I am given the Hand of Shame to Golem of the Hand. One of my orcs is already down, which isn't really a good sign. As I try to get him up though, I'm just locking on to random grunts, which honestly I hate when this happens. And whenever I finally lock on to my orc, I am hit in the back by a berserker. But he's enraged, so like an angry ADHD child, his attention goes elsewhere. A grunt then tries to steal the kill, and I realize that I have my quick time event turned off, which again definitely isn't ideal with raiding such a strong fortress. But before getting the orcs up, I actually spot that the strong berserker is ready to be dominated. And yes, in my own words, I am gonna cheese the fortress. I'm gonna recruit orcs because this fortress is so goddamn strong. I think I have to recruit them. Usually whenever I'm doing a friendly fort raid like this, I wouldn't recruit orcs, but I feel like I need to. This place is so goddamn strong. And also, these orcs are quadruple 7s, so like, they're kind of hacked, so I think it's justified. So with that being said, I dominate Frack the Lucky. And I take the point so that I can quickly get up my fallen lads. 3 of my orcs being down at the first point definitely isn't the best, but at least we've come away with recruiting 2 more lads. That'll definitely help when fighting the next few points. Going on to the second point, I am very surprised to see only 1 defending captain. 1 against 7 definitely isn't fair, so I take the point as soon as it's available. I then try to focus on the captain before I move on to the next point, but he puts me in my place. Going on to the third point, I am very surprised to again only see 1 defending captain. Maybe I have underestimated this fort. I check out one of the orcs defending the point, and he is an absolute unit. Douche Flame of War with the quadruple 7, including being enraged by everything. 3 epic traits. I dive on back in to assist my lads, and I find a disgusting Nurgle orc. Despite this orc being arrow-proof, I smash Helm Hammerhand's hammer into his noggin regardless. I love that even though they're arrow-proof, it still hits them back, so it gives you a massive advantage against these hyper-powerful orcs. I do it again, knock him off his feet, hit him on the floor, and this is enough to break him. With the Blight now recruited, we have really built up a very solid army. I hit some grunts with my hammer and then I start laying into the Flame of War. But as I get in close, you can see that my maniac shark is taken out by some throwing axes. I think that was a bit of friendly fire. And because my legend is also down, I decide to take the point just to get them back on their feet. With the point taken and my lads back up, I pin Flame of War into the corner. But then in the corner of my screen I can see a barrage of enraged orcs, so I decide to head to the point. I just know that one of my lads is definitely going to be downed, and there we go, one of them was just downed. I dive on in to get a closer look at what powerful orcs are in this point.
Get it over here!
And while I'm destroying the enemy's catapults, Douche the Flame of War finally succumbs. This orc honestly was a real problem. Diving back on into the point, I can see that 4 of my orcs are down, so I take it immediately. This raid is just a numbers game. I do feel like I'm cheesing it a little bit, but can you blame me? Those orcs were so goddamn powerful, and my team hasn't really been tested yet. And honestly, doing this fort raid up until this point has taught me nothing about my orcs. They are going down quite a lot, but I don't really blame them for that. I get my ghoul lover Olog back up, and then I spot an absolute abomination of an orc. Just what the hell is this thing? I decide to try and fix his face with my hammer, but a random grunt gets in the way.
Down, Mr. President!
Yep, I'll be honest, that is exactly how I thought he would sound. And looking at his stats, he is very formidable. And thankfully, my boys have already done a bit of a number on him, so it shouldn't take too long to break him. It's moments like this where I really wish that this fortress was not a friendly raid. If I could find this fort in the online fort raids, I would go to town here for a shopping spree. Before running on into the inner gate, Scoon the Tasty is seemingly friendly fired by Luga the Poisoned. And as I'm running in, I am so happy that I did bring my den mother Olog. Just look at this, he's got a whole little horde of ghouls beside him. I definitely want to make a throne room just filled with ghouls, or I want to make an entire Olog or orc force, which all summon in their own ghouls. That would be amazing. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you think that I should raid a fortress with only ghoul orcs. I then get way too close and personal with the poison. Honestly, lad, I know it's Valentine's Day, but get your hot Cheeto breath away from me. After we break up, I dive over the head of this other captain and start peppering him with arrows. It's actually Frack the Maggot. Oh, I miss the maggot. I then very awkwardly hang on the wall for a second before slamming more hammers into this group of orcs. I then spot that one of the captains is running away terrified. Not on my watch. No one escapes. Especially not when we're in this beautiful fortress right beside a massive cliff. You all know what's about to happen. But before I can make this orc forcibly join the Mordor Flyers Club, the Flame of War is seemingly taken out. The cutscene makes me throw the orc annoyingly, but no, you're not getting away. Honestly, I live for these moments. Fly, fly! Fly, fly! And it looks like we've got another case of an orc falling. Very funny.
She fell funny.
At this point, he's just playing dead, right? He was terrified, he was trying to retreat, and he has just seen the easy way out here. I mean, 10 out of 10 acting skills. Looking back at the point, I see that some of my orcs are not doing so well, so I sprint back over. Just in time to see Luga the Poisoned be put down for good. Although it's very hard to tell exactly what is going on there with the sheer amount of bodies. So I run in and take the point, just trying to clear things up a little bit. I then get to work getting each of my orcs back on their feet. At this point, there's only 2 remaining enemy captains, and I dispatch the first one, the Maggot, by hitting him with my hammer, although it says that he was shot. Somebody stole my kill. I then smash hammers into the Obsessed before moving on in and getting what is most likely going to be a very creepy last message.
Make it slow, my love. I deserve that, at least.
But because I haven't turned on the minigame yet, I mess it up and he gets back up. But it seems like this near-death experience has put the Obsessed a little bit off me, because in this next conversation he's not that creepy to me.
Lots of bleeding so far, Tark. Lots of pain. But you keep the pain at a distance, and our overlord, he embraces it.
After I push him away, I proceed to fire hammer after hammer into the back of his noggin. Even though he's arrow-proof, I just keep going, I can't stop. Before sprinting on in there and finishing him off with an explosive attack. Look at that. With all of the captains now finished, I head on into the throne room. Except I actually don't. For some weird reason, I can't seem to get in. And then I figure out that the game is still counting this warchief right here as being alive and on the enemy team. So until I dispatch him, I can't get into the throne room. I turn on my quest overlay to confirm that this is the case. And yes, we have another glitch. It seems like the game believes that this orc is still against me. And for some reason I'm not able to lock on to dominate him. And whenever I grab him to do this, the grunts fight me off. I try to throw him away from the grunts because he's very angry and he keeps running back towards them. No one has told them that this fort raid is essentially over. And even despite clearing out the runts, it seems like there are still more of them spawning in. This is very, very annoying. I just can't get the Regal to stop fighting. Eventually, after another failed attempt to carry him away from the battlefield, I am left with no other choice. With the Regal's head splattered across the battlefield and the remaining grunts surrendering, I can finally head on into the throne room to meet the legendary undead overlord, the king of the necromancers.
You should never have come here, Grave Walker. I am the lord of this.
And all things considered, this being Zog is actually a bit of a relief. I know that whoever's fort this is, they've picked him as a bit of a novelty, but defeating Zog is definitely going to be easier than defeating one of those quadruple 7 orcs back at the front gate. Peering at the stats of both of the bodyguards, I can see that they are also both very powerful. And now it's time to unveil my awesome bodyguard, Baga the Torturer. I start off the fight in the same way that I do every single fight now, by throwing hammers directly into the faces of every single thing that moves. And while the two bodyguards don't take any damage from this, Zog does. Once I've exhausted my throwing arm, I move in with the explosive attack, but I am repelled by the shield orcs. I then decide to just focus on Zog and completely ignore the shield bodyguards. And this works extremely well right up until I'm about to finish off Zog, when I am tackled by one of his bodyguards. I thought this was it. I thought that my raid was over, but thankfully I was able to get out of this hellish corner, where I regrouped and smashed more hammers into Zog's head. Knowing that it's only going to take one more hit to get rid of him, I run in, charge up my explosive attack, and I finish the raid. My god. What a lovely, lovely, and also horrifying fortress. I did definitely cheese it a little bit by recruiting orcs, but that was only because this is such an imposing and impressive fort. I mean, it was so impressive that it basically broke my game 2 times. Well done, lad. Well done, NCR Rules 2007. What a lovely, horrific fortress. I add you to my official leaderboard and you are officially in first place. Well done. If you'd like to be rated next, then leave a comment down below. Tell me what's great about your fortress, and for the love of God, please tell me which region you want to be rated in.
Subscribe for more of that delicious Shadow of War content. Come on, it's probably free to do. And if it isn't, maybe it's worth the money. I don't know. I haven't checked it out yet, but you can trust me. I'm an anonymous voiceover.